Welcome back. So, algebraic expressions. Algebraic expressions are, again, these big complicated problems, but they don't have an equal sign. So, algebraic expressions are different from numeric expressions because there are variables. Now, remember, variables are things like letters or symbols that can stand for any number. So these types of problems are just a whole bunch of variables put together. And what you have to do is you have to combine like terms. Now, you also have to figure out the coefficient of each variable. The coefficient of each variable, the coefficient is the number or hashtag in front of a variable. So you look at the numbers in front of the variables, the coefficients of the like terms, and you either add, subtract, multiply, however the operation tells you to do. So let's look at this. Now, in this first example, I got 9x plus 3y plus 12y minus 0.9x. There are two terms here. Well, there are four terms, but there are two like terms. I have my x's, and I have my y's. Now, the y's are the easy ones. So you can see that the coefficients for this y is 3, and the coefficient for this is 12. And they're both plus plus. So when I add them together, I get 15y. Now, the x's are a little bit different. This one's a little easier. It has a minus 0.9x. So I'm just going to subtract. But what's the sign in front of here? Well, if you don't see a sign in front of something, it's automatically a positive number. So it's 9x minus 0.9x. Well, that's 8.1x. Now this 15y, is that positive or negative? That's positive. All I'm doing is combining like terms. You notice I'm not solving anything. There's no equal sign. So I'm just combining like terms. This is my answer. There's no way I can combine x's and y's. They are apples and oranges. They're different fruit. So I'm separating them out, and I'm just trying to make the simplest problem possible. For my second example, I have numbers outside the parentheses, and I have g's and h's. The first step I have to do is I have to distribute. Distributing means I'm multiplying both of the numbers inside the parentheses by the 4. You notice that there's two terms inside the parentheses because they're separated by an addition problem. So I would do 40g plus 320h. Now, I have to do the same thing for this 20. But the trick with this 20 is it is negative. It is negative 20. So I have to take the whole negative with it and distribute it. That is the most common error that I see while talking people through these problems. That is a negative 20. So a negative 20 times a 10 is negative 200h. A negative 20 times a negative 5g. Negative times negative is a positive 100g. Now I just look at, I have all these coefficients. I have my g's, so I can combine them. 40g plus 100g, 140g, 320h minus 200h is a positive 120h. I have just simplified the problem. Now you'll notice that the directions say simplify, not solve. I'm not going to find an answer when I'm simplifying. Now, I'm going to do the same process with this problem. I'm going to distribute the 2, and I'm going to get 30d plus 90c in the first parenthesis. Now, I got a fraction. And I chose this problem because so many people have problems working with fractions. Here's the trick. I'm multiplying. I'm not adding, I'm not subtracting, I'm multiplying. So what I do is, this is a fraction, I make both of these fractions. I put them over 1. Always the simplest thing. Put it over 1. Now when I distribute, the 5 is on top, so it's going to multiply all the top numbers. The 6 is on bottom, it's going to multiply all the bottom numbers. So what I do is I do 5 times 12, which is 60d, divided by 6. 6 times 1. Plus 5 times 18, which is 90c, divided by 6. So what I've just done is now I have distributed the 5/6. Now I can simplify this down. You might notice that 60 divided by 6 is 10d. Plus 90 divided by 6 is 15c. I've just simplified that down. Now I can combine no fractions whatsoever. 30d plus 10d is 40d. 90c plus 15c is 105c. And that is how I simplify algebraic expressions. So for the next types of problems, I'm going to give you guys the answers. Feel free to pause and check your answers when you're done. Make sure in here that you follow the same steps. Make the fractions out of everything. Multiply the tops, multiply the bottoms, and then divide. And same process here. Now, my next video is going to be on proportions, last step in my numeric expressions unit.